One, and we're live.
Good morning, Summa scholars. Welcome to the Daily Summa. Today is May 13th during Eastertide, and it is the feast of Our Lady Fatima, and it is my father's yahrzeit, the death day of my dad.
Mhm.
So I offer up this study for my father's soul today, even though he gets a lot of stuff every day. Yeah, what the heck? He needs a lot. Trust me. How you doing, Joe?
Pretty good. Pretty good, I'd say.
Well, I'm getting the pleasure of a little spiritual attack starting yesterday and today. It's awesome.
Sounds lovely.
It's good stuff, dude. Good stuff. This thing's on, right?
Yeah.
What else we were talking about starting later for our feast days. Today is essentially a feast day it's Our Lady Fatima, but it's also my dad's death day.
Right.
Often I will go out and buy a bottle of VO, crappy, cheap, nasty whiskey that Dad would drink. He didn't drink it often, but when he would go out and want to drink, when he would want to drink, he would go out and get VO. And then, Dad didn't understand, he didn't appreciate the finer things of alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
For him, it was a means to get intoxicated, period.
Mm-hmm.
Nasty stuff, but effective for intoxication. There were no talks like we have at Chesterton. Ooh, this one is in the cask for this many years, and none of that. But is there anything? And tomorrow's one of your feast days, so we're going to try to start later tomorrow.
Yep. Same ties.
We had talked about doing 7:15 for Daily Summa, and then on feast days starting at 9. And I guess we're going to be able to try that out now, since you have a different arrangement.
Mm.
But we have to start at 9 so you can be at work at 10.
Before 10, but yeah.
Before 10. Yeah, and I have to do a 45-minute or shorter teaching thing. What else? Do we have anything else to talk about before we jump right into whether God is truth?
I don't think so.
If something comes up.
Nothing worth talking about.
Nothing worth talking about. Just trials, temptations, standard fare. We have a beautiful rain.
It's true.
Out here. It's really nice. I like these kind of days, actually.
Yeah.
It would be a good day to be camping. All right, let us go into Article 5 of Question 16, the Pontius Pilate question, what is truth? And whether God is truth. Let's see what Larry, Ralph, and the boys have for Thomas today. We are on page 85, and at the top of the page, Article 5, whether God is truth. Up steps Larry on the beaver galleon, adjusts his do-rag, and says, do we have that picture?
No, it's on my computer.
Oh, yeah, I ask you this all the time.
Yeah.
You should know it by now. It seems that God is not truth. Oh, come on, Larry. But let's see how he does it. It's going to be fun. For truth consists in the intellect composing and dividing. Okay. Remember, science, skia, is cutting. Philosophy is about making distinctions. In science, you, what do you call it that you did with the frog, where you cut it apart?
Dissecting.
And composing, putting things together. So you pull it apart, you put it together. Or you see that two things are related that you didn't realize were related, and you put them together. That's how our intellect works in this world of discursive knowledge. For truth consists in the intellect of composing and dividing, but in God there is no composition and division, therefore in him there is no truth. Again, the same thing. We toggle back and forth between divine perspective and human perspective. This is how Larry and Ralph and the boys always get confused. It's amusing to watch. They apply to God the human thing, and to humans the God thing, or whatever. They get all backwards. Let's see what Ralph does. Further, truth, according to Augustine, is a likeness to the principle. But in God, there is no likeness to a principle. Therefore, in God, there is not truth. Objection 3, Shimon. Further, whatever is said of God is said of him as of the first cause of all things. Thus, the being of God is the cause of all being, and his goodness the cause of all good. If, therefore, there is truth in God, all truth will be from him. But it is true that someone sins. Have you ever sinned,
Yep.
Joe? Really?
Yep. Like once or
You
twice.
keep it secret from me.
Once or twice.
Therefore, this will be from God. Therefore, this will be from God, which is evidently false. Yeah, okay. Okay. On the contrary, our Lord says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Bold statement from the Lord. It'd be a strange thing for someone to say. The old C.S. Lewis thing, he was either God. Well, God's the last thing. That's the punch. He's either a charlatan, a madman, or God. I answer that. And then the other one that they try to do nowadays is, or he never even existed. Ha! But now we have the internet, so
yeah.
we can just like laugh that one off now. But it worked back in the 90s.
Sure. Yeah.
I answer that. As said above, truth is found in the intellect according as it apprehends a thing as it is, and in things according as they have being conformable to an intellect. This is to the greatest degree found in God, for his being is not only conformed to his intellect, but it is the very act of his intellect. And his act of understanding is the measure and cause of every other being and of every other intellect. And he himself is his own existence and act of understanding. Whence it follows not only that truth is in him, but that he is truth itself and sovereign and first truth. Nice little addition. He could just say he is truth himself, but he adds and sovereign and first truth. Very beautiful. I don't think we need to go too much into it. God's essence is his existence. He is it's a word I always forget, but Thomas loves to use. He is not the archetype, but the whatever. All the Thomas out there are screaming at the
Supreme is that
no, it's I mean, he is the image that's stamped. Maybe he'll say it later. All right, let's see. Reply to Larry, objection 1. Reply to objection 1. Thomas says, although in the divine intellect there is neither composition nor division, yet in his simple act of intelligence, he judges all things and knows all things complex, and thus there is truth in his intellect. When we say someone judges, it's discursive. Remember the other day I said that when Jesus judges humanity, it'll be like that video of Santana meeting his drummer, and his drummer suddenly realizes all that he could have been and done and he didn't do, or that kid that was in the court, and the judge, after the sentence, says his name and did you go to this school or whatever, and then he realizes it's her, and he remembers that he was a good kid, and he weeps. It's a flash remembrance. It's a flash realization in the presence of truth. So God's judging is not the way we judge. We judge discursively. You get a fact, you put another fact, you hear some testimony, space-time. God is just that image that is right. Or the way they talk about, there's this metaphor of dollar bills or $100 bills that are counterfeit. They have people look at real $100 bills over and over and over. They get familiar with it. And then they have just an intuitive knowledge when they hold it up that something's not right here. You don't have to pick it apart what exactly. You can do that afterwards. But that's how we think. God does not judge that way. He just is the correct $100 bill. And whatever is placed up against that is seen to be not correct, not perfect, not true. He is truth, from whence flows all other approximations to truth. Reply to objection 2. The truth of our intellect is according to its conformity with its principle. That is to say, to the thing from which it receives knowledge. Now, God is the ultimate principle, but then remember, things are flowing forth from God. So there are hierarchies of perfection, hierarchies of principle. And then there are ways of us that we humans look at principles within our vision. The thing that I always say about the perfection of making a fire in the fire in the fire pit. That perfection, we judge according to truth from the principle, that is to say, from the things which it receives knowledge of. The pieces of wood are the things. There's a certain principle of fire construction, and we see how those add up. That's another way of looking at truth. The human perspective. The truth also of things is according to their conformity with their principle, namely the divine intellect. That's the highest principle. Now, this cannot be said properly speaking of divine truth, unless perhaps insofar as truth is appropriated to the Son, who has a principle. But if we speak of divine truth in its essence, we cannot understand this unless the affirmative must be resolved into the negative, as when one says, the Father is of himself because he is not from another. Similarly, the divine truth can be called a likeness to the principle, inasmuch as his existence is not dissimilar to his intellect. In God, his existence is not dissimilar to the intellect. He is one, and he is the what's the word? His essence. I'm blanking on the word. His essence is truth, and it is all. He is all one. Now let's go back to this thing. I can't even remember what he was replying to. Objection 2. Further, according to the Augustine says, is a likeness to the principle. Well, it's what I had said. There are different kinds of principles. There are human principles, and then there's the divine principle. There's a likeness to the principle from our perspective, but in God's perspective, there is not a likeness to the principle because he is the principle itself. He is being itself. He is truth itself. Reply to objection 3. Not being and privation have no truth of themselves, but only in the apprehension of the intellect. When you apprehend that there's a hole in the paper and you say there's a lack of being there, that is true. It is true that there is a hole in the paper, but that hole is non-being. So that non-being has no truth in its essence, in itself, because in its essence, in itself, there is no essence and there is no self, because it does not exist. It is non-being. Now, all apprehension of the intellect is from God. Hence, all the truth that exists in the statement that a person commits fornication is true is entirely from God. Sin is fornication is sin. Bad, shame. No. But you can say that someone has committed fornication, even though that's a big emptiness in the page. There's a big emptiness there. There's a void in their soul when they are falling into that sin. But it is true that that is what happened. So in that sense, you have truth. But the truth is not in reference to the sin itself. It's in reference to the situation. Okay, but to argue, did I skip a page? Therefore, that this person fornicates is from God is a fallacy of accident. It's just flipping the words around. I hope that's clear for everyone. Yeah. Therefore, that this person fornicates is from God is a fallacy of accident. It's true that they fornicate and that truth is from God, but the fornication is not from God. Article 6, whether there is only one truth according to which all things are true. Let's see. We're going to get a big fat I answer that. This is one of Thomas's rambling respondios. And then we'll have the replies tomorrow. Let's see what Larry says. It seems that there is only one truth, according to which all things are true. For according to Augustine, nothing is greater than the mind of man except God. Now, truth is greater than the mind of man. Otherwise, the mind would be the judge of truth. Whereas, in fact, it judges all things according to truth and not according to its own measure. Therefore, God alone is truth. Therefore, there is no other truth but God. It's pretty good. I mean, it's just saying that truth is a measure of all things. Whether there is only one truth, according to which all things are true. Let's see what Thomas does. Further objection to, further Anselm says that as is the relation of time to temporal things, so is that of truth to true things. But there is only one time for all temporal things. Therefore, there is only one truth by which all things are true. Okay. On the contrary, it is written, truths are decaying. They decayed from among the children of men. He's gonna have to talk about our concupiscence and our lack of understanding full truth. And I feel like we're going to get into a ramble of philosophical distinctions. Philosophy is about making distinctions. I answer that in one sense, whereby all things are true, is one, and in another sense, it is not. In one sense, truth, whereby all things are true, is one, and in another sense, it's not. Okay, how? Why, Thomas? In proof of which we must consider that when anything is predicated of many things univocally, it is found in each of them according to its proper nature. As animal is found in each species of animal. But when anything is predicated of many things analogically, it is found in only one of them according to its proper nature, and from this one, the rest are denominated. So, healthiness is predicated of animal, of urine, and of medicine, not that health is only in the animal, but from the health of the animal, medicine is called healthy, insofar as it is the cause of health, and urine is called healthy, insofar as it indicates health. We've been through this before, guys. And although health is neither in medicine nor in urine, yet in either there is something whereby the one causes and the other indicates health. I can't remember which question it was we went this. Oh, it was about univocal. Whether truth is univocal?
No, it was a previous question.
Yeah, it was a previous question, but it was something about what was univocal, though. That was the question.
Yeah, it wasn't truth, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
Put it in the comments, folks. By the way, we turned the page. Turning the page sponsored by Gothic Casual High.
You did that on purpose this time. You didn't even try.
Didn't even High Gothic Casual, folks. Go check it out. Google that stuff. Got some awesome shirts and all kinds of things to check out.
I think it's in the description, too.
It's in the description, too.
Probably.
So, there's different ways of looking at truth. And there's different ways of looking at health. Health, properly speaking, is the perfection of a nature. Our bodies are healthy when they're working according to their nature. But we also use the word health as far as health food or health medicine is healthy. Or we used it to look at urine. I don't know exactly what they were able to tell back in the day. someone's healthy by their urine. Guess how dark it is, how foamy it is? You didn't see what he said. He made a little yolk. Oh, gosh. Oh, that reminds me of a Patrice O'Neill bit, but I can't say it. But it was how he found out he had diabetes. Woo! Okay. We are in the Côte de la Tronde, the seedy part of France, here on this galleon with Thomas and the boys studying Aristotle, which the Pope said you shouldn't study. Oh, that rebel, Thomas. Why do people act so like frou-frou is what Father Benedict Rochelle said to me. I was at a certain place and he said, perhaps you should think about spreading your wings. I don't know if this is the place for you. It's a little frou-frou. They got like doilies and things. People get a little frou-frou when they're teaching Thomas. Thomas says this. He's talking about piss and probably giggling about it, just like dudes, just like boys. All right, health, truth. Now, we have said, Article 1, that truth resides primarily in the intellect and secondarily in things, according as they are related to the divine intellect. If, therefore, we speak of truth as it exists in the intellect according to its proper nature, then there are many truths in many created intellects, and even in one and the same intellect according to the number of things known. Sure. You have numerous truths in your head. That is a map of the game diplomacy. It's true. This is an iPhone. True. A lot of truths in our minds. Whence a gloss on Psalm 11. Truths. Wow, what happened to my voice?
Puberty.
One day I'll be a big grown-up boy. Truths are decayed from among the children of men, says, as from one man's face many likenesses are reflected in a mirror, so many truths are reflected from the one divine truth. Ooh, that's nice. You have a mirror, and the man's face moves, or the camera. They wouldn't have said that back then, but yeah, many truths are being at many angles, many facets is the term used for diamonds that the Hazal or the rabbis would like to use. Many facets of the one diamond. But if we speak of truth as it is in things, then all things are true by one primary truth, to which each one is assimilated according to its own entity. The mirror thing is good too, with a broken mirror, or like that picture I put up of Elvis's TV where he shot the television and there's a picture of my face in it.
Yeah.
Do you have that on that?
Hold on. Hold on, I might. Let's look.
So things get more confused is what I'm getting at when the mirror or the image is shattered. And what the Kabbalah would say is that
There it is.
You got it up? That's my face in Elvis's television, which he shot while he was probably stoned and drunk and all kinds of things, and got mad at angry at what was on the TV. Shot it. That's also what they say, the rabbis, the question, there was a question given to a rabbi, why, everybody always hates the Jews. It's one of his students, why are they always going at it? He said, the rabbi said, when a person is angry, when a group is angry at the king or the emperor, the president, they don't have the power to get to him, so they deface his statue out in the city square. That's why the people persecute the Jew. And then now the Catholics both. We get a little bit. I feel like we don't get, the same.
I mean, not here.
It's true. In Syria. Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, you think you're having a tough day now.
Pretty bad.
All right. And thus, although the essences or forms of things are many, yet the truth of the divine intellect is one, in conformity to which all things are said to be true. Guys, surprise, shock. All truth comes from God. Why are we studying this? Tomorrow we'll get to the objections. Why are we studying this? We're looking at our beloved's hands. We know all truth comes from God. We know that there's human perspectives. But think of how this is just ready knowledge for you now. If you've been watching this the whole time, it may not have been ready knowledge for you 80 pages ago, wherever we are. We're coming up on a decade party. You wrote me that the other day.
Yep.
Before the octave, so during.
Still before the octave, yeah.
So it's during this Eastertide.
I suppose. Yeah.
Well, must be.
Must be.
Well, that's kind of fun.
Must be the case. Yeah, I think it is.
Got a decade party coming up.
I think it was the 5th. Now it'll be the 6th.
Oh, because someone missed.
Well, I don't know who missed, but
yeah, that's fun. That'll be our second decade party.
it actually works better because the first one would have landed on a jazz night again, but now it'll be a Friday.
We can just go to the place we go to for parties. Poppy, you show up. Steve, you show up. Elias, you show up.
I think Steve won't be around.
Is he out of town?
He's coming to town next week, and then he's out of town for like 3 months.
Oh, that's sad.
I know, devastating.
And of course, Haley can't be there.
Right.
Space time.
Yeah, she's over in.
Do we know where she is?
I don't know, somewhere west.
Haley, where are you? I mean, generally speaking. Guys, this is all straw. But to hear it, to meditate on it, is to grow in knowledge and collect your little pieces of straw that God can then catch on fire with love of himself. Enter into the love of God. Amen. We're done. Thank you. Have a good day. Peace to my Father's soul.
Mm-hmm.